Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here in City Hall. The December 2nd, 2019 City Council meeting of the full City Council will come to order. It's 2:00 p.m. I'm Bruce Harold, President of the Council. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Swan. Bigshaw.
Here.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Herbold.
Here.
Juarez. O'Brien.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
President Harrell.
Here.
6 present.
Thank you very much. If there's no objection, the proposed introduction referral calendar will be adopted, but I do want to make an amendment and let the record reflect that Councilmember Juarez is here. I believe that's her. Yep, that's her. Okay.
The one and only.
I'd like to amend the introduction referral calendar, items 5 and 21. Item 5, Council Bill 119716, committee referral from the City Council. The amendment is from the City Council to the Finance and Neighborhoods Committee, and I'll explain it in a minute. And item 21, which is Council Bill 119722, committee referral from the Finance and Neighborhoods Committee to the City Council, so we sort of swap them. These changed on the IRC are just based on central staff's recommendation. These are pretty much budget related. They're not substantive in nature, and central staff recommended that we swap those as I described it. So if there's no objection, we'll make those changes to the introduction referral calendar. Hearing no objection, the proposed introduction referral calendar is amended and it will be adopted if there's no objections. Very good, it's no objections. If there's no objections, today's agenda will be adopted. Hearing no objections, today's agenda is adopted. Presentations. We are very fortunate to have our poet, Jourdan Imani Keith, joining us this afternoon. And we are, as I think everyone knows, you saw the big 150-year balloon downstairs. This marks the City of Seattle's 150th year of incorporation. And to help celebrate this, we are again honored to have a civic poet, Jourdan Imani Keith, who will read her poem, Let Seattle Be. And we're honored to have you. Thanks for being here. And any mic is there. If the light is on, you should be able to hear you well. Test it.
Thank you.
No, excellent.
I am delighted, thrilled, honored to be here. My poem takes up a lot of breath, so I'll save it for that. But I really thank you for the work that you do and for making art an important part of that.
Thank you.
Let Seattle be. Seattle, the place that was and is and will be. Seattle has become a home for me, among the shackled and the free. The place where trees once stood before there was a neighborhood. Seattle was the cedar's majesty, before the plains and glass pines scraped the sky, before the hills were pushed into the sand. This was and is and will be Duwamish land. Let Seattle be Seattle, a chief's name on foreign tongues. Seattle recognized and sung by dolphins we call killer whales before they too are gone. A sanctuary city in a filled-in estuary. Let Seattle be hope in this hope-broken land, a shelter and a refuge, a fist to stop a tyrant's hand. Seattle, your tectonic faults are great. See the last one leaving, turn out the lights. See the home of war and of flight. See the gold rush and the sourdough. See the Issei and the Nisei of the Panama Hotel. 7,000 gone by what a president said. See how Hooverville returns again and again. See old covenants of outside the International District and CD. See where no Asians and no Africans could be. How more than others we still live without the trees. Oh, gray blanket on the streets and in the sky. See the tents, the sweeps, and totem poles. Seattle, remember to the change you are and want to be. Listen to the Gang of Four, understand their unity. Listen to the Gang of Four, notice what remains. When the soil of ourselves is pushed into the sand, what rises from the grains is in the people's hands. See Bob Santos in the International District. See Bernie Whitebear occupy the Daybreak Star. See Larry Gossett camp to feed the people, no matter what the name. See Roberto Maestra and El Centro de la Raza rising still again. Say, who are you in the Salish Sea, pushed aside for prosperity? I am the Black River gone, as the people cried. I am the Chinook dead on the side. I am the orca carrying my child. I am the gray whale beached at Alki. I am your neighbor without shelter in the sand. Oh, but Seattle is mighty, even with its broken dreams. Oh, Seattle is mighty when it looks in its own eyes. What city do you know that fights itself to undo its present harms? What city do you know that sounds its own alarms? What city do you know that was raised by colonizers that turns itself upon itself to put out ancient fires? This place of wooded paths and parks that must belong to all. This place where we drink the water from protected Cedar Falls. This place where race and social justice is built into the law. This place where you were taught to understand the power of it all, the power of illusion that there are racial lines, the power of illusion that's kept us all behind. But the strength of our ethnicity is celebrated here. So sing what's right, Seattle, over the heartless song. Sing the estuary where fresh water meets the sea, where orcas must survive for our health and their dignity. Sing My Posse's on Broadway. Sing jazz on Jackson Street in Wires. Sing Jimi Hendrix, What Stars in His Spangled Banner. Sing WTL, Black Panthers and the Women's March. Sing an endangered song. Sing a whale song. Sing Quincy Jones. Sing Ernestine Anderson. Sing grunge and hip hop. Speak Tablets from the Sky. Speak Octavia Butler and her brood in a futuristic mood. Speak Gabrielle and Riz. Speak August Wilson. Play out all the cycles. Speak Colleen McElroy with Madagascar lips. Dance, color onto the dark canvas of winter. Dance Chihuly in two steps. Dance Jacob Lawrence and Deborah Moore. Dance Dingus and Barbara Earl. Dance Cabby and Sylvia Ford. Feast on forests of food from Beacon Hill. Become an Amazon for equity, with the sweet, steamy foam of justice in our mouths. Come all, stand in the crossroads of the red, black, and green. Stand in the rainbow of what has been. Celebrate this Emerald City and its Green New Deal. Make a way for the poor and the impoverished to heal. Sing what's right, Seattle. Let Seattle be Seattle, the place that was and is and will be. Seattle has become a home for me. Among the shackled and the free, amidst the resistance there must be. As the hills were pushed into the sand, Seattle will must bring justice to our land. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. For the viewing audience, Jourdan, Imani, Keith have performed hundreds and hundreds of performances throughout the world, all the way from the East Coast, the West Coast, and the continent of Africa, all over the world. And so we're very honored to have you here and share your work with us. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see now. I lost my space. I was all scripted and everything. Okay, at this time, we'll take public comment on items that appear on today's agenda, our introductory referral calendar, and our 2019 work program. I don't know if anyone has signed up or not. I'm not handed a sheet, so we do not have public comment, I believe. And with that, we'll move to the payment of the bills part of the agenda, so please read the title.
Council Bill 119708, appropriating money to base out in claims for the week of November 18th, 2019 through November 22nd, 2019, and ordering the payment thereof.
I'll move to pass Council Bill 119708. It's been moved and seconded. The bill pass. Any comments? Please call the roll on the passage of the bill.
Sawant. Bagshaw.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Herbold.
Aye.
Juarez. O'Brien.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
President Harrell.
Aye.
7 in favor, none opposed.
Bill passed and Chair will sign it. Please read the first agenda item, 1 and 2.
The report of the Sustainability and Transportation Agenda items 1 and 2, appointments 1460 and 1461, reappointments of Alexander Liu and Emily Payne as members, Seattle Bicycle Advisory Board for a term to August 31st, 2021. The committee recommends that these appointments be confirmed.
Thank you very much. Councilmember O'Brien.
Thank you. We have 4 pairs of appointments. The first 3 pairs are reappointments, and this pair is for the Seattle Bicycle Advisory Board. Alexander Liu has some transportation expertise in transit performance analytics, real-time passenger information, and passenger-facing transit alerts. And Emily Payne is a bus driver and transit and bike advocate. Both bring excellent expertise to the Bike Advisory Board, and I'm excited that they're willing to serve for another term.
Very good. So these are the first 2 appointments. Any questions or comments? Those in favor of confirming the appointments, please vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, vote no. The motion carries and those 2 appointments are confirmed. Please read 3 and 4.
Agenda items 3 and 4, appointments 1462 and 1463, reappointments of Rachel Benshmuel and Lisa Bogardus as members, Levy to move Seattle Oversight Committee for a term to December 31st, 2023. The committee recommends these appointments be confirmed.
Councilmember O'Brien.
Thank you. So Rachel has been on the Levy Oversight Committee since voters passed the levy in 2016. She has 35 years experience in both public and private sector transportation and land use planning, has been an outstanding member. Lisa Bogardus is the executive secretary of the Seattle Building and Construction Trades Labor Council. Some of her members are the ones doing the work on the Move Seattle levy, and has a lot of expertise also. Both current appointments and their being reappointment, also grateful their interest in serving for another term.
Very good. Any questions or comments? If not, those in favor of confirming the 2 appointments, please vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, vote no. The motion carries and the appointments are confirmed. Please read 5 and 6.
Agenda items 5 and 6, appointments 1464 and 1465, reappointments of Jennifer Molly and Michelle Zeidman as members, Seattle Transit Advisory Board for a term to August 2nd, 2021. The committee recommends that these appointments be confirmed.
Councilmember O'Brien.
Thank you. So Jen is a transportation policy planning and project supervisor at Seattle Children's Hospital. She brings a lot of expertise. She has a graduate of the Evans School and cares a lot about mobility issues. Michelle has about a decade of expertise in public transportation and urban planning policy. Both have been on the Transit Advisory Board and are willing to serve another term.
Very good. Any questions or comments? Those in favor of confirming the 2 appointments, please vote aye.
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 Those opposed, vote no. The motion carries and appointments are confirmed. Please read 7 and 8.
Agenda items 7 and 8, appointments 1466 and 1467, appointments of Dylan Jones and Blake Voorhees as members, Urban Forestry Commission for a term to March 31st, 2020. The committee recommends these appointments be confirmed.
Very good. Councilmember O'Brien.
Thank you. So these are the 2 new appointments, the Urban Forestry Commission. As folks are probably aware, there's a lot of activity going on around how we maintain growth in our city and protect and expand the forest tree canopy. So critical appointments. LB is a restoration and volunteer coordinator for the city of Sammamish. She has a BA and a BS in Ecology and Natural Resource Management from Evergreen State College and a certificate in Wetland Science and Management from University of Washington, in addition to a Master of Environmental Horticulture, also from University of Washington. Blake is a real estate broker where he's specialized in residential sales, also been in litigation paralegal for 10 years. It brings that professional expertise to have an understanding of the challenges urban trees face as our cities continue to grow. His passion is for trees, and he's experienced that working with builders and home buyers, and thinks his legal background will also be an addition to the Urban Forestry Commission.
Thank you, Councilmember Bryan. Any questions or comments? If not, those in favor of confirming the appointments, please vote aye. Aye. Those opposed, vote no. The motion carries and appointments are confirmed. That will conclude our agenda. Is there any further business coming before the council? Councilmember Herbold.
Yes, thank you. I would like to request an excused absence for December 16th.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Councilmember Herbold be excused on December 16th. Any comments? Those in favor of the motion, vote aye. Aye. Those opposed, vote no. Motion carries, and Councilmember Herbold is excused on the 16th. Any other further business coming for the council? I do want to say in closing, I wanted to welcome Councilmember Peterson to the dais.
Thank you.
I can't always promise you it's going to be quiet like this next year, but enjoy it while it lasts. So, with that, we'll stand adjourned. Everyone have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.